Hi, everyone. Welcome to the discussion on rethinking hyper-casual games, key lessons, and what's next for 2025. My name is Tabarak, and I'm the moderator for today's discussion. Just to provide a brief background about myself, I'm the marketing manager at Tenjin. And for those who don't know, Tenjin is a mobile measurement platform that helps you scale your mobile apps with ease. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. You can just connect with me via LinkedIn. To get started, today we have four wonderful panelists joining us. I will let them introduce themselves, starting with Ghazi Azhar from Castle Studio.
All right. Thank you very much, Sabarak, for the introduction. Is my voice clear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Ghazi Azhar. Currently, I am the CEO of Castle Studio, one of hyper-casual mobile publishers in Indonesia. So actually, I've been in game business in 5 years actually, so it's not really long. But actually, we have currently more than 7 user acquisition across all of our games, and currently we have been making more than 15 games, mostly hyper casual, and I think that's enough for me.
Okay, thank you. Nice to have you, Ghazi. Next, maybe Ayaz, you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello, I'm Ayaz Malik. I am CPO at OZIPUB and CEO at Tiny Dragon Games. I'm in the gaming business for about 8 years now. And in these 8 years, we have self-published multiple hit games and also published hyper-casual games with Supersonic. And we have won 2 international awards and some other stuff. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, great. Mehdi, maybe you can introduce yourself next.
Thank you. If you don't know me, I am Majid Rizvi, a seasoned professional with over 8 years of experience in ASO, UA, and game publishing, currently serving as a head of ASO and game acquisition manager at TapNation. I specialize in crafting strategies that drive organic growth, optimizing monetization, and scales hyper-casual game to the global expert success. And leveraging, I mean, my expertise are actually leveraging in-depth keyword research, A/B testing, and creative optimization, boost up visibility, and ranking across the iOS, Play Stores, and Amazon platform, building collaboration with the developers and studios worldwide with the bring innovative, high-performing games to the market, implementing cost-effective marketing campaigns and ROI focus. Over the year, I have many successful publishing collaboration and have been instrumental growing TapNation portfolio while helping developers achievement and sustainable revenue models.
Okay, thank you, Mehdi. And last but not least, we have Wilson Ong from SocialPeta.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that SocialPeta is the one organizing this webinar, so a big shout out to SocialPeta. But yeah, Wilson, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Wilson. I'm actually from SocialPeta, as you mentioned. For those who haven't known SocialPeta, we're actually an app intelligence platform. So we actually help and provide our clients reference or insight on the trends like creatives, publisher network, advertisers, multiple networks, multiple countries. So our clients might have the advantages to make better like strategies in terms of like, creative or organizing their strategies to make a better strategy for user acquisition. So that's what we provide. And we would love to share a couple of insights of from SocialPeta as well through this event.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Wilson. I think we can get started with the questions. We have a series of very interesting questions for you guys today. The first one, it's just like a general question that I think everyone can answer. So the question for you is, since 2022, we have been talking a lot about the demise of hyper-casual games. But now that, 2 years have passed, we've just started 2025, how would you assess the current status of the hyper-casual gaming market? I think everyone can answer this, and maybe we can start with Ayaz.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, hyper casual has been on a decline, and a non-stop decline, I would say. But that's when I talk about the top publishers like Voodoo, Lion, TapNation, right? But because they're probably moving towards puzzles and hybrid casual and idle RPGs. But when I talk about small developers self-publishing games, it's not the same case. They are still working on hyper casual, still making money out of it, and not reaching very top of the charts, but they're still going strong. So that's my take on it. Yeah.
But so you said small developers. So are you talking about specific regions or just like globally?
Right. So the problem with
Sorry, can you hear me well, Ayaz?
actually it was breaking up. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I can repeat my question.
Yeah, please
So
do.
I was saying, do you mean like small developers globally or in specific regions are only focusing on hyper-casual games still?
They're still, I would say, globally, because you see, it's not just Pakistan, India only that working on hyper casual. You see, Turkey, Vietnam, they are actually doing very well, and hyper casual as well, and some other countries also. So I would say it's still going strong globally when it comes to small developers. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Mehdi, maybe you can answer the question next.
Yes, actually, it's a very detailed topic. I mean, I will try to make it summarize for everyone. For the year, the hyper-casual gaming market has faced a prediction of decline, especially after its rapid earlier growth and the market saturation. However, 2 years later, it's evident that the market is not fading away. It's adopting and evolving. While the growth rate is showed, hyper-casual games remain vital part of the mobile gaming ecosystem. The market saw approximately 3.12 billion total installs in Q4 2024, reflecting only a 3% of year-over-year decline. A significant improvement from the 6% drop in the 2023 is indicating stabilization amidst the changes. The genre is involved from simple single mechanics game to title mini games, hybrid monetization model, and diverse gameplay experience. Games like mini games, Coms, and Relax and Perfect Daddy exemplify this shift, often leveraging TikTok trends to attract the audience. Regarding the tier 1 Western markets have seen 5% growth, signaling in it unadoptable potential, while the tier 1 Eastern markets like China have faced the slowdown, reflecting saturation of emerging region. Monetization strategies have also matured. Successful titles like Paper.io demonstrate the effectiveness of hybrid models that blend ad revenue with in-app purchases, ensuring a more sustainable income stream. Notably, 50% of the top hyper casual games are now in terms of these showcases that innovating remains alive in the genre. The rise of the gaming with TikTok inspired mechanics and multi mechanics gameplay point out the creative evolution. The I mean, if I summarize everything, the hyper casual market is not decline, but rather is phase of transformation with innovative mechanics, hybrid monetization, and adopting shifting market dynamics. This genre remains a key pillar of mobile industry. Its ability integrate to popular trends and deliver fresh idea ensure its continue relevance to growth potential.
Okay, so thank you, Mehdi. Mehdi's main point was that it's not fading, but it's adapting and evolving. Um, okay, answer it next. a bit unstable for a second. Wilson, maybe we could have you answer the question next.
Oh, is it me? Because your voice is
Wilson?
breaking up. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
So,
I guess I'm having some. Okay.
okay, got it. So, based on social pattern, like if I can assess, yeah, for hyper casual games, I think we'll be like striving on the revenue apps model because providing consistent income, something like that. But in terms of saturation or competition, I expect the hyper casual market will oversaturate it with, there's a high volume of similar games currently, right? Maybe this thing is gonna lead to a decline in profitability for many developers worldwide. Also, the market is flooded with hundreds of new titles, so it makes it more harder. Like it's harder for users to choose one game or for developers to choose. To make the games that can stand out, yeah, unless it is hit or it has a unique gameplay or mechanic or trend. So during these days, like now, developers are now more focusing on how to deliver more polished, well-designed gameplay, stand out in terms of mechanic or visual appeal, something like that, while keeping the simple, addictive gameplay to retain the players longer. And not forget to mention that there are some innovations that with the rise of AR or AI or other immersive technologies, there is some experimentation with hyper casual games as well. Might be an innovation in the future, maybe using AI for their games. Well, the conclusion is I can say that for hyper casual game market is still far from that. I agree with Mr. Mehdi, like, but it has entered a phase of maturation this day. Well, for developers, it's gonna still have a value if they can understand how to adapt to this new realities of competition. There can be like monetization and user retention. The key of success now lies in creating more polished, engaging, innovative experience while balancing simplicity with deeper mechanics for longer player retention. Something like that. So, if the prediction of demise, I think it's gonna be premature right now because certainly in the future we will have more competitive refined phase comparing to the other thing.
Okay, thank you. Guys, is my internet stable now? Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I just want to be sure. So Wilson, I think there was some trouble with your mic. I couldn't hear you very well, but some key points that I understood was that you said the market is saturated and it's competitive, so developers have to now be more innovative when they're creating more hype. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, Ghazi, last but not least, can you please answer this question? You're muted, Ghazi.
I'm really sorry for that. Yeah, so actually, I really agree with what have been talked previously with Mehdi. And currently, actually, we as a studio, actually, I'm a representative of an indie game studio from mobile games, but our publishers is actually one of the largest hyper-casual game publishers in the world, that is Voodoo. So actually, in Voodoo itself, there's a huge transition from hyper-casual games into mid-core and hybrid-casual games, and that is not because hyper-casual is just going to be a dead game, but same just like what Wilson has stated before, it is oversaturated with too many competitions, too many competitors, too many similar games, and also that means that all the other genre is going to be growing faster than a hyper-casual game. But also there's reports, although all of that in 2024, where certain subgenre of hyper-casual games is actually rising higher than the previous years. If you can see the reports, there is something like match 3D games, merging games, or perhaps visual novels. I mean, this visual novels is not actually hyper-casual, but there are a slight rising, like I mean, not slight, but it's a significant rise in that those subgenre. That means that in certain genres, hyper-casual games is growing really fast as well. But in the other hands, the other subgenre of hyper-casual games, something like rhythm or perhaps clickers and also idle games is also very declining, and that means there is some kind of unbalance between subgenre, and what publishers and developers have to do is also have to take a look at deeper markets uh, and also following up and keeping up with very dynamic subgenre market in hyper-casual currently. Meanwhile, all the huge publishers is now shifting into mid-core and hybrid casual games, which is in that genre. The market is still not tapped really largely, and and we also in our studio start our shift for genre games. I think that's a little bit from a few point from us.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ghazi. So I think like what stood out from what you just said from the other answers is that certain subgenres of hyper-casual games like Match 3D are still on the rise. Whereas, with other subgenres, they're not dead, but we lost Ghazi. I think he will rejoin. But yeah, so other subgenres are not dead, but it's just very competitive, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you guys. That was very insightful. The next question is specifically for Mehdi. Mehdi, you've talked a lot about organic growth, and I think you have other videos about ASO, user acquisition strategies, etc. So my question to you is, when it comes to hyper-casual games, would you suggest what would you suggest is the most effective approach for driving organic growth? And maybe if you can give an example of a case study, like a successful case study, it would be great.
A lot. I mean, thank you, Tabarak, for this specific question regarding the organic ASO strategies. But uh, for driving organic growth for the hyper casual game beyond marketing and paid marketing requires multifaceted approach. The paid campaigns are excellent for generating initial transaction, initial traction, but the sustained success focus on the organic strategy is essential. This involves the robust ASO strategy, leveraging the social media and encouraging the user generated content, the ensuring the gameplay has a viral shareable elements. The ASO is the cornerstone of the organic growth, optimizing app title, description, and the visuals with the relevant keywords. Relevant keyword is the most important tied to the gameplay mechanics is crucial. High quality screenshots, videos to relevant. But let me again say relevant high quality screenshots and videos should convey the game unique selling points and the fun factor. Encouraging users to leave positive review also boost app visibility and ranking. Hyper casual game thrives on platform like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Games designed with the viral mechanics like satisfying visuals, humorous gameplay on engaging challenges can speak trends. Social media engagement, such as the user posted gameplay highlights and the challenges at free marketing, creating compiling gameplay loops and keep players coming back is vital. Game with this strong engagement naturally lead to word of mouth referral, regular update, new levels, and creative addiction enhance the retention and the maintain user interest. For the case study, I have a lot. Giant Rush, you can say, you can check out on our portfolio, TapNation portfolio. Giant Rush recently we launched the last year, the Dino Run, Gun Up, and also the Pocket Monster. But I will discuss right now only Giant Rush. The game combine the obstacle of racing character transformation. Its keywords targeted on the ASO strategy focus on the terms like giant rush, while the shareable gameplay. Players showcasing character transformation help the games go viral, and also user-generated content to social media flowed and steady stream of the organic installs. But never forget, put the current trend into your visuals, not inside the gameplay. I mean, we just, I don't know, should I say this or no, but we just put skibidi things, skibidi toilet things when the trend was there. So we just put these things in our icon. So, I mean, not really like that, but we make our own and very close to look like skibidi. So the organic uplift was increased 7% of the game. The 7% was huge because the number of installs per day install was uh, excellent. So, I mean, in short, the organic growth of the hyper casual game about the tapping into player natural tendencies to the share, engage, and complete strong ASO creative gameplay and leveraging social platform effectively are crucial. Successful examples like Giant Rush, Dino Run, Gun Up, 2048, Pocket Monster show how combining these strategies can drive meaningful long-term growth without solely relying on paid campaigns.
Great. Thank you, Mehdi. So if you've just given like a lot of really nice points, but if you had to pick one or two most effective approaches for driving organic growth, what would that be for our viewers?
Okay, I mean, for one or two, those are, I mean, when you get what kind of traffic you are actually getting on your games and what kind of traffic you are getting on your product page, either that is iOS, either that is on Play Store. The mostly we are actually working on the Play Store platform. So you should have to work on the conversion rate. I mean, what kind of conversion you are getting from specific country. So you have gift from Google Play Store as well. I mean, this is exceptional from featured and exceptional from promotional content. This is not available on account. But this facility you can say is available on all account, that is CPPs, custom product pages and custom store listings. So when you check out, when you get the data from custom product page, the visitors are actually land from specific region on your page, but they are not converting. So what you do, you will create a separate custom product page for that game. I mean, these are experience and these are the, you can say, the case study for the hyper casual game specifically. So what we do, we put all the relevant things of the, I mean, relative to relate to the keywords, put on the creatives, not on icons, on creatives videos, and also the key features and targeting and hook things are on our creatives. So we improve our conversion one by one on the regional size, number one. Number two, keywords custom product pages. The keywords are the, I mean, traffic is land through the keyword, but they are not converting on the specific keyword. So you will improve that keyword specification or relevancy of that CPPs as well. So, I mean, the main things is conversion and increase visibility, or increase, you can say, visitors of your product pages. So increasing the visitor will also increasing the installs, and you will get some kind of good conversion as well. So I will go for custom product pages. This is the main key feature for everyone. If you have a promotional content, so no need for worry about that. Just put the specific what kind of gameplay or what kind of in-app promotion you want to promote in your product page. So you will do that. And also, but this is available for specific accounts for the Google Play, but the custom product page is available for everyone. You will see when you create the CPPs and also get the massive, very good result on this. So you will, I mean, you will get more installs and get very good result in this scenario of hyper casual.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you, Mehdi. For our next question, this is for Wilson. Wilson, SocialPeta collaborates with numerous mobile gaming studios. What key insights have you gained from these partnerships? And how do you perceive the shifts or differences in marketing strategies among casual, hyper casual, and hybrid casual games?
So the shift in marketing strategies, right? So the insights regarding the creative and user engagement, I will differentiate between casual, hyper casual, and hybrid casual games. For hyper casual games, they typically reference to a very dynamic range of ad creative. So if you see like creative they made, it consists of video ads, playable ads, also static banners. Well, their goal is actually to test like multiple creative formats and approach to see what work best for them, what resonates best with their audience, like that. And now these days, they tend to make higher quality videos, give a sneak peek into a game's mechanic to attract their users, also emphasize like a gameplay elements to enhance the retention, something like that, for the hyper casual game. Meanwhile, for hybrid casual, now they are focusing more on storytelling. The idea comes to build a stronger emotional connection with their players. In terms of marketing evolution, for hyper casual studio, they will still focusing on the volume itself. Meanwhile, they are optimizing the retention rates, not just to acquire like downloads. Also, because they are focused on retentions, they leverage the analytics also to improve like post install experience. They are focusing in onboarding flow, like in-game reward, might as well integrations to keep the players engaged after the download. So, meanwhile, for hybrid and casual games, they tend to build long-term user engagement becomes their priority, right? More about creating brand loyalty, content, consistent, community building content as well. Their marketing strategies is reflected with kind of approach, like regular content, seasonal event. They made something like that, community difference campaign. So it's adjusting to the specific players' behaviors they found and their preferences. Others marketing strategies comes from influencers as well, like as well the social media marketing. In terms of influencers, there's for both three of them, casual, hyper casual, and hybrid casuals, influencers play a crucial role in targeting the audiences, especially from TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. But the differences here is for casual and hybrid casual games, they trend towards micro influencers. Their target is to like provide highly targeted and engaged audiences. Meanwhile, for hyper casual games, they tend to rely more on broad reaching influencers and virals to boost the initial install. Well, the conclusion is the shift in marketing strategies across casual, hyper casual, and casual games is increasing complexity and data-driven nature of acquisition and retention. Meanwhile, hyper casual are focusing more on retention, casual and hybrid casuals pushing toward a long-term player engagement and stronger community. Influencer marketing and social media engagement is a good part as well. Well, the key of this insight is hyper casual games, they must refine their ad strategies and retention effort. Meanwhile, hybrid casual games, they need to further capitalize on potential for a long-term player that engage and to make a brand building for it. That's the insight.
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting. So, you said that hyper casual, they focus more on retention, but with hybrid casual, it becomes more important to engage users long term and to keep them with and build a relationship with them with like strong storytelling, for example. So yeah, long-term engagement is a priority. Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Wilson. That was very informative. My next question is for Ayaz. Ayaz, a lot of studios worldwide, as we know, and we've just talked about, shifted towards hybrid casual games. Yet, we do still see a lot of hyper-casual games continue to thrive in certain countries or regions, like Pakistan, Vietnam, etc., that you've mentioned in the start. So my question is, how do you assess the current state of mobile development in Pakistan specifically? And what advice would you offer to local developers looking to successfully enter the market in Pakistan?
Yeah, sure. So I would put it like this, that we had successes in hyper casual at Tiny Kraken Games, which is why it was really easy for us to actually move to a hybrid casual genre. Right. So now the state here in Pakistan is, which is actually a good thing, which we are observing at OZIPUB, because we are one of the largest gaming publisher here in Pakistan, and we receive a lot of games from our local developers here, and we see that people are actually making good hyper casual games these days, right? Which wasn't the case if you go like a year back. I would say that the studios who have a grip on hyper casual games and can make engaging, you can say, mechanics, and are getting good KPIs, they should definitely give hybrid casual a go, because it would be easier. But for studios who haven't actually tried other genres, I would say, who have only been working in, you can say, simulators, FPS, and I wouldn't suggest that they should directly jump into hybrid casual. Hybrid casual as a starting steps would be great. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. So just like to talk a little more about the current state of mobile game development in Pakistan. Did you have something to add there as well?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, so what's happening is, the good thing is that Pakistan industry is actually iterating how it used to work, right? We are moving from the low quality content to actually jumping into powerful simulators and good hyper casual games. And some studios like ours, we are working on hybrid casual as well, with publishers like Voodoo and Mooney and Supersonic. So this is a good jump. This is something which wasn't happening like a year or a couple of years back. So we are in a good state. In short, we are reaching there. We are going there, and I would strongly suggest, if there are Pakistani audience here today, that you guys should definitely try hyper casual and hybrid casuals and puzzles. I mean, this is what's gonna work onwards. The low quality simulators and FPS and games like that, they aren't going to work for long. So this is a tough to swallow pill, but that's how it is. Yeah.
Shooting games are still really big in Pakistan. So yeah, that's, I think, very valuable advice. Thank you, Ayaz. Okay, so my next question is for Ghazi. Ghazi, so it's kind of the same question to you, but regarding Indonesia. How do you think hyper-casual games are developing in Indonesia?
All right. Okay, so Indonesia itself, generally, in all across genre actually, there are huge growth starting from 2023, 2024, especially in 2024, there are like 407% more studios than ever before. I mean, than previous year. And that is because of the government itself is now actually prioritizing games productions generally, besides all other creative sector of business. So they are creating regulation in this industry, as will have impact in hyper-casual games development in Indonesia, where actually um, at this moment most of the Indonesian hyper-casual games are driven by organic audience, just like what have been stated before from Wilson about organic. In Indonesia, there's huge trends of indie game developers on gaining user acquisitions from organics. Sorry, is it my voice still there?
It's fine now. We lost you for a bit in the middle, but it's fine now.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's huge trends in Indonesia where new mobile game developers or publishers are creating hyper-casual games, and they able to drive organic user acquisitions and really huge amounts. And we also in my studio also have been in that stage where like we have driven like 5 millions of users organic without any campaigns. So it's only based on um, how the community or perhaps the gamers Indonesia is actually related to the game, and they we have to think we have to make sure that they would love the game even without they knowing that the game exists. So organics is one huge thing in Indonesia, and mostly it's a hyper-casual games. And also the KOL or perhaps influencer marketings also drive a huge role in growing of Indonesian hyper-casual games, where every influencers with more than 10 million subscribers in Indonesia, they always support on playing hyper-casual games that made in Indonesia, and they actually drive every good hyper-casual games to be promoted freely by the influencers in Indonesia. So that organics user acquisition is really high. It's really a thing in Indonesia, and it is tend to but easier to do it now than previously, because huge support from the influencers that is also supporting Indonesian game developers and also from the government itself. Meanwhile, also the cost production in Indonesia is tend to be much lower than other countries. That's why a huge publishers from the Western countries are like also TapNation, Voodoo. They both has been one of my publisher as well. My game has been there too, and they are tend to find studios from Indonesia, and because Indonesia is actually have so many manpower to create games, but in also in low cost of production. If we compare it with the countries besides around Southeast Asia, like Indonesia has an average salary of game developers only between 400 US dollar until 900 USD. So that's the average. It's one of the lowest in the world actually in terms of production costs of salary in game development. So we tend to build game faster with more human resources creating hyper casual games, but also with a similar uh, impact or similar revenue from the games from the publishers around the world. I'm sorry, my stable my internet is a little bit unstable. Yes, and also in latest of leading genres of mobile games data analysis in Indonesia. In 2023 and 2024, hypercasual is number one leading genre of games, following by simulators and then also child games. And hypercasual in numbers have more than 800 millions of user acquisitions. Sorry, and also followed by simulators in 600. So there are 200 millions of difference between hyper-casual and simulator. Hyper-casual is still leading the genre of Indonesian mobile games market currently. And of course, one thing that is unique from Indonesia is that in Indonesia, it is so easy to gain user acquisition. And if you run a campaign in Indonesia, you will have a really low CPI. So one of our games is still having a 0.06 CPI, so it's a really low compared to our games that targeting into international. We usually get something like $1 or $2. So it tends to much easier to gain a user acquisition in Indonesia because of the amounts of how many mobile gamers are in Indonesia. Almost everyone is actually playing games, at least hyper casual games. But the other hands, the cons is for the revenue itself, we are talking about the return of ad spending and also about the eCPM of the mobile games in Indonesia, it tends to be very low usually. So it's only depends on quantity of the users, and actually not really depends on the quality of the ads itself or the CPM. So for instance, study case in one of our game having 1 million user acquisition in South Korea, South Korea targeted. We compare it with one of our games that have 4 millions of user acquisition targeted mainly for Indonesia audience. With 4 and 1 million difference of user acquisition, we have a similar revenue between those two. So that is the cons of Indonesia. So I think that is one thing that I notice a lot from the difference between how the gaining of user acquisitions and also the cons of that Indonesian market, comparing to publishing it to the other countries audience. And also about organic growth is like what's been said from Wilson. Actually, are many of study cases in Indonesia where studios are getting huge, where they are creating their first game. One of study cases from Ikanas Production, that is one of publisher in Indonesia. They create their first game, an RPG game. This is not hyper-casual actually, but we're trying to discuss more about the organics, but it could also apply to hyper-casual. They are creating the game that is related to how Indonesian is actually doing every day. Like it has to be related on the everyday life in Indonesia. So they are creating a game about life in Indonesia, and they also build a community or from WhatsApp for it, and they can gain 500,000 of daily active users for 4 years, without any single US dollar spending in a campaign. So it's all organic, and it's been has been 4 years, and it's always only depends on community they are creating. So they are treating storytelling, they are inviting children into the groups, into telling stories and into the game. And then they are attached to the story itself. And it has been 4 years, and it's not declining at all for the user acquisition.
Wow, that's really interesting. What was the name of this game again? The one on life in Indonesia?
For the game that I've just mentioned is Citampi Stories, mobile games. Usually their first game, but it's now it's really successful and has been 4 years.
Okay, so they're just relying on organic
Yeah,
downloads.
it's all organics.
Wow. Okay, that's really cool. Okay, thank you, Ghazi. I just want to move on to our last question. And all panelists will answer this, and then we will move on to, I see that there are some questions in the chat. So hopefully we have some time for that. So my last question is, as we step into 2025, what is one key prediction you have for the future of the mobile gaming industry? We can start with Wilson.
All right. Okay. So I predict the future of mobile games industry in 2025 is gonna be an increase about integrations of different gameplay and personalized experience. But as well, we got like machine learning or AI in advance. Mobile games will be more adaptive. They are offering dynamic challenges, of course, personalized storylines, better one, or even able to provide like real-time adjustment based on the player behavior itself. Well, I personally think that this could lead to a more immersive uh, experience where the games feel like it's evolving specifically for individuals, like enhancing the engagement or retention that weren't possible like before. So it's gonna be like better because of the innovation.
Okay, thank you. Ayaz, maybe you could go next.
Yeah, so I think what happening is that the bar when it comes to the new genres or you can say quality and engagement is actually going higher and higher, right? So I mean, if you take an example, kids these days, they are more into reels and shorts compared to games, like how they used to, right? So there is an audience which is moving away from games, or they're only sticking to the games which are actually good. So I mean, my 7-year-old can now actually decide that if this game is worth their time, or they're gonna just watch some reels on the YouTube or any other platform. So I strongly feel that no genre will die out, right? But every genre will have to up their game a little bit, depending on the audience they're serving. So this will happen, and AI was a huge hype, like it's going to change something. So what I believe is that's not how it's gonna turn out. AI is just will actually turn to a tool which is going to cut down your costs or speed up your work and improve quality a bit. It's not something that's actually what everybody said is going to be a game changer. So that's not how I see it. Yeah.
Interesting that reels are now a competitor for games. And I guess it's not just kids. I'm guilty of
Yeah. Yeah.
being addicted to Instagram reels. Yeah, they're very addictive.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ayaz. Ghazi, maybe you can answer next.
Yeah, actually, it's like what I have said before, and also I agree with what I have said before. Is no genre will also being dead. Also, there will be a slight decline or perhaps uprising in every genre, I think, because it's always dynamic in every year, especially in subgenre of agriculture. Just like I have said also before, um, like back then, the puzzle games is like generally being high rising, but actually in 2024, uh, we also have to look at the deeper subgenre instead of the genre itself. If we wanted to create a game genre, let's say in hyper casual, we have to look at not only making game as a hyper casual, but also the subgenre of what kind of hyper casual game is it. Even though you are trying to make a game something like puzzle games, there are so many still subgenre of puzzle games, just like matching or perhaps merging or sorting games, or perhaps many other subgenre of puzzle games. And what you have to do is deep searching and deep analyzing the market itself, because it is very dynamic. For instance, for the last year, merging and also matching a simple is the game what is that the game with fruits that is falling down emerging to combine to becoming another fruits, and that is something that is dynamically rising in subgenre statistic, and that is I think what you have to learn about what kind of games that you are trying to create in the future. And also it is important to the fast iteration and also to kill the game if your game is actually not having a really validated or approved audience and not taking too long time to create a hyper casual games. So the optimal is about 1 month, and if it's you having a good CPI and also good retention, you can update it and doing live ops on that and spending more money on campaigns. But if you think that the CPI is not good and also the retention is also standing to be lower, then I think something like 35 or 40%. It is important to the fast iteration, and if it still not works, you have to move on to the next game. And also keep in mind to also researching the self and clicking on one subject. I think my
Ghazi,
internet connection is dead again.
we lost you for a second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think yeah. Right. Where is it? Where am I? Where I lost?
You can just repeat the last sentence. We just
Okay.
lost.
So it is important if you want to try to create hyper-casual games into analyzing the subgenre of the game that you want to create. So you're not only focusing on making hyper-casual games, but you're tend to focusing on the subgenre of hyper-casual game itself. So for instance, the last year subgenre is rising on matching game or merging games, and the other subgenre of puzzle games is actually declining. So that's really important. And then also to do fast iteration and for each game you are trying to create. If the first and also important to do a fast development for hyper casual games. So optimally it's going to be take 1 month of prototyping. And if you and then after that you're trying to validate the game itself by doing a campaign. And if you do have a good CPI and a good retention, you can actually doing a live ops and updating the game and focusing on the game. And if the result is actually not good and not validated enough, for instance, low retention and also high CPI, you can also do a fast iteration. And if it still doesn't work, you have to move on to the next game and also re-researching the subgenre you are trying to create and not sticking on the same genre in a long time, because the subgenre is going to be really dynamic. I think that's for me.
Okay, thanks, Ghazi. So last but not least, Mehdi, can you please answer the question?
Thank you. Actually, the mobile gaming industry in 2025 is, poised for a significant evolution, driven by a combination of technological and advancement, market dynamics, and changing player behavior. As per my experience, here's key predictions. So the future of mobile gaming is will rely on platform diversification, hybrid monetization strategies, and high quality experience. Developers can no longer depend on a solely on a platform like iOS and Play Store, expanding to Amazon, Huawei, App Gallery, and regional app stores is crucial to reach wider audience and minimize risk like policy changing. Monetization strategy must also evolve, with ECPM rates like to drop further in 2025. Relying on the only on ads revenue is risky. Hybrid model, blending ads with in-app purchases and subscription, will drive the sustainable growth as well. Subscription is particularly provided by sorry subscription is particularly provided by the steady income and long-term retention, especially for the hybrid casual games. Successful example like Royal Match and Stumble Guys show the power of combining these approaches. Quality is non-negotiable. Players now demand engaging, replayable games, and poor quality title will struggle to survive due to low retention and reduced monetization opportunity. In short, in 2025, success will depend on smarter strategy, platform expansions, and innovative monetization model, ensuring sustainable revenue growth in a competitive market.
Okay, great. So focusing on quality, not only relying on ad revenue, incorporating in-app purchases and subscription for a steady revenue. That is
And
very
also, I'm sorry for interrupting, and also considering the other platform as well for the wider audience.
right. Okay, thank you. That was very insightful, you guys. I'm going to jump in to start asking questions. We have a lot of them. So yes, let me just have a look at the chat. There's one question from Amjad, and this is for Ayaz. Ayaz, what KPIs are you looking for hyper or hybrid casual games at OZIPUB?
Right. So basically, hyper casual and hybrid casual are very different, and so are the KPIs. For hyper casual games, we usually go with if we are testing a prototype, we'd rather go with 35% D1 retention, right, and about 15% D3 retention. For a hybrid casual, the bar is actually very high. So we need between some 40 to 45% D1 retention and about 25% about D3 retention. So yeah, so these are the retentions. And same goes for, you can say, CPI. CPI, we usually take somewhere between 50 to 80 cents for hyper casual on the high side, right? And hybrid casual, you can go from somewhere between $1 to $1.5. Yeah.
Okay.
If there are any specific KPIs you want to know, you can always reach me out, and anywhere on LinkedIn or OZIPUB's email, I can get back to you. Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, all our panelists will be leaving their LinkedIn, so you can feel free to ask them questions. Amjad has a second question, which is related. How can we use high downloaded placeholders for new releases? Did you see any specific benefits while doing that? This is for Ayaz.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't get. How can we achieve what?
How can we use high downloaded placeholders for new releases?
Right. So I'm sorry, I'm not the right person to answer that, because like I told you, at Tiny Kraken Games, we have worked only with publishers, and that's not the type of you can say process we had, that using placeholders with higher downloads and stuff like that. Yeah, and we're not doing that in OZIPUB as well. So we just go with the fresh new games. Yeah. Maybe Mehdi can answer this better because he's an ASO guy. Yeah.
Yeah, May, did you have anything to say there?
I mean, how can we use high downloaded placeholder for new releases? No, for the Play Store, it's not possible, but for iOS, yes, it is. So you need to improve your KPIs and also give some, I mean, also improve your product optimization page as well, but not take any step for the CPPs for and in the initial stages. But I don't think so. This is possible in 2025 and mid in the 2024.
Okay, thank you. So our next question is from Hunain, how to grow. I'm gonna pick questions because we don't have much time. Sorry, guys, but you can ask other questions via LinkedIn. But one of his questions is how to grow LTV or user engagement. Wilson, maybe you can answer this one.
What is the best way to catch audience and how to grow LTV or user engagement? That one?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think how to grow LTV or user engagement part. What is the best thing is you need to do research first about uh, how to engage with the user. What's the best way to what's the idea? How to engage better, right? So usually based on SocialPeta, we usually spy on the competitors, like how well do they perform and copy their strategies. That's how to use it because we provide them insights on how to grow, so you can grow, you can engage better uh, because you got the data, right? You got their research, yeah. You can copy their idea and adjust it to your strategies. So that's the best way, I think, yeah. Without any like minimum expenses because you capture you implement their strategies, you look whether or not it was working for you or not.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
If I may, I want to add something in this as well. So now that I am working at OZIPUB, and there are tons of games coming in, and there's a general mistake, or I would say a practice everyone is following, usually the developers in Pakistan, and I've seen some developers from Turkey and Vietnam who are working with us doing the same thing as well. For monetization and LTV increase for hyper casual, it's the same template everyone is using. I mean, at the end of the level, there would be an interstitial, and with the skin loaders, there would be our rewarded videos options, and then there would be, rewarded videos to speed up your skin loader and stuff like that. I mean, it's the same template everyone is using. It works, we understand that, but nobody is considering actually gamifying your monetization, making it in a way that player will enjoy it. And Mehdi is here, so I will give a thumbs up to TapNation. I love how they monetize their games, especially the hyper casual titles. Mehdi was talking about Giant Rush, so I'll just quote an example from Giant Rush, which will actually help people understand how they can gamify monetization. So what happens is, as soon as the level ends, there is reward multiplier, and they put a button after every level where you can upgrade that. And when you upgrade that, what with the currency, what happens is that the multiplier increases. And with that increase, you get more and more rewards, which later become are usable in the meta. So this is the entire loop. So they're monetize it very well. I mean, they're putting a rewarded button for upgrading if you don't have enough currency. And when the giant player is flying around in the multiplier, there is immersive ad flying with them, right? And there are rewarded options within the meta as well. And even when sometimes the level starts, there is a balloon carrying an immersive ad with it. So these are non-intrusive ads, and they actually increase your LTV quite a bit. So we have to move away from the same old practices like putting an ad after the level. I mean, you have to think about how players would love to actually watch the rewarded videos with consent, that yeah, they're okay with this ad because they're getting some value out of it. So this is something you have to actually consider. Yeah.
In short, I asked say non-interruptive ads. Is it? Yes. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys. I'm moving on to a question from Zara. Um, she wants to ask Ghazi, what user acquisition strategies have worked best for Play Castle games in terms of CPI and LTV balance?
All right. So the user acquisitions for in Play Castle Studio, as we attend to create puzzle games currently, in our experience into to if you want to create ad campaigns for your market for your ads, we actually tend to create a simple videos with no UI, no actually buttons or perhaps any menu, focusing on the gameplay itself. And one important things is you have to focus on the first 3 or 4 seconds, because this is where you are placing the hook or the most interesting part of the game. And we also can create scripted scenario in your games. For instance, if your game is something like a puzzle like a Tetris, or perhaps any kind of blocks games, you can put a condition where one movement could cause multiple chain reactions that create satisfying feel for audience, and that will make the players to watch more than 3 seconds because of that hook, and it will be very good for your CPI. And then also you can also polish uh, the display itself for the game, but not too much. But and you just polish the initial look at the video to create to engage more audience to install the game. And also to keep the video not very long, it's about 15 or perhaps until 20 seconds for us. And also make sure that your video is actually appealing for both genders, for men and women. So you tend to create the visual to be more unisex, actually appealing for women to don't forget about adding a finger, because this is hyper-casual mobile games, to deliver sorry, is it stable again?
Yes, we can hear you now, but your video is a bit stuck, I think.
Hello,
Yes, we hear you, Ghazi.
sorry.
Yes.
I think, yeah, I'm gonna continue on the last. So one thing that is almost forget new studio always forget is don't forget to adding a visual of fingers to so it's clear control of the how the game is played. And you have to imagine yourself you are watching the ads with no any idea how the game works. And you have to understand that in the first 30 seconds you have to be sure of first what is the control of or 3C of the games, the control of the game, how it feels, the camera. You have to understand in first 3 seconds, and also you have to find the fun. What is the fun in the game in the first 3 seconds? If you want to validate it more, you have to ask someone that is don't doesn't know anything about your game, so you don't have any bias. Ask them show them the first 4 second of the game, I mean 4 second of the video of the campaign, and ask them are they interested to play the game. If they're interested, they are tending to be doesn't understand what the game is about, or perhaps they don't know where is the fun is, or perhaps they don't understand what they are watching. And if they say they doesn't like or they're not interested, I think you will have a good feedback on how do you improve the first hook, first 3 or 4 seconds for your CPI video.
Okay, thank you, Ghazi. There's an interesting question from Talha. What is the best way to launch games? Like, do we need to launch with only organic or just go and launch with paid user acquisition? So who wants to answer this question? I'm leaving it open.
Yes, so I can answer this, but I don't know if others will agree with me or not because there are mixed, approaches different industry people are using. So we have been working with publishers, most of our companies, go live. So we always go with the UA. We start with the UA. The very first install would be actually a paid install for us, right? So that's my approach.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I am with Ayaz. I am with Ayaz. I mean, the first approach is actually from UA. Why we are in I mean, we just say bye-bye to 2024 and actually enter in 2025. So we know what kind of updates and what kind of policies, new updation, and also the organic shift from the one phase to another. So the new games are actually on Play Stores and also on the iOS are actually dependent on the organic. So what is the first step? I mean, you should have to make a sprint and also split your project into different phases. First, you need to know what kind of CPI you got for your new idea. So then you will enter into second phase, that is retention. Then into you will enter the third phase, that is LTV. Then you will enter in the fourth phase, that is also the sustainability of the retention of the 30 days. So how can you get this data? I mean, if you will dependent on organic, it means you need to wait 1 year. If you want to get this data so earlier, so you will, what you do, you will put some UA campaign on that product, and it is depend. I mean, every UA network have its own own CPI and also the spending position. I mean, I will never go for the puzzle category for the, I will not choose Google AdWord for the puzzle category. I mean, the CPI will always higher. I will choose something else. So, I mean, the plan is sustain your product on Play Store or iOS on what kind of network you want, what kind of platform you want. So you will go first for UA, then work for organic. Then when you will give your desired data or stats of your game. This is the actually. I'm with Ayaz. I'm with Ayaz. I mean, we should have to agree because we are in 2025 right now.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So, your advice is to start with paid, collect some metrics and data, and then you can move on to organic. Okay, got it. Thanks, guys. We just have 2 minutes, so it's gonna be the last question. It's from Shah, and I think the first part of his question we've already answered. So, what are the most effective monetization models for mobile games in 2025? But the second part is what I find a bit interesting. How can developers decide which model suits their product? Yeah, anyone can answer, whoever would like to.
Basically, it falls under the genre and your audience, that what you're making and for who are you making that. If I will give you a quick example, is if I'm making a conventional hyper casual game, so I would definitely monetize it with ads most of the time, and will try to get at least 5 to 10% of in-app purchases. And but if I'm like, you can say, going for like a hidden object casual game, puzzle game, whose audience is mainly women and adults, right? So I can mix in some good in-app purchase packages as well, which can which works. Yeah. So it depends what kind of game you're making and what's your audience.
Okay, got it. Thank you, guys. We're out of time. I'm sorry I could not take any more questions. I'd just like to thank our panelists and SocialPeta for organizing this webinar. And so all our panelists will be leaving their LinkedIn profiles. So you can feel free to connect with them directly, and I'm sure they'll help you with answering your questions. And the last thing is that SocialPeta will be releasing the recording of this discussion. So in case you want to watch it again or send it to someone who missed out, you can also do that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye bye.